So for my metaphor project, I took a couple parts of my belief map and applied a metaphor to each of these places in my project. So for finances, I kind of see finances like riding a bronco, because you got to practice and get better at riding the horse, just like finances. You got to practice and learn and progress, but I don't think you'll ever be an expert, and you'll never know 100% how it's gonna end up. Um, Sometimes you'll have all the tools and the training and practice that you think you need, but sometimes it won't go your way and you'll fall and you'll take a loss, but sometimes it will go your way and you'll come up big. So it's kind of just, I view it, you're never going to know the outcome of your investments or whatever it may be, but if you can accumulate all the knowledge that you need and if you know about it, then you can go into your finances with confidence and make confident investments, and you can, more often than not, you'll come out in the black. For relationships, I think relationships are like growing a plant, because it's time consuming, and you can't expect to get benefit when you meet someone new, like a week after you meet them or something like that. Just like with growing a tree or some bush or whatever, you can't plant a seed and then a week later go out there and try and pick the fruit, because that's just unrealistic expectations. Um, like plants, I think relationships, um, you can put a bunch of time and effort into them, but sometimes they'll just die out, and that's just kind of how it goes sometimes. But I think if you're successful in your relationships and you're continuously putting time and effort and growing your relationships, then I think you'll reap great rewards. Moving on to the faith aspect, I think faith is like a roller coaster, because there's if you're like me, then it's both kind of intimidating at first, but it's also a lot of fun. Like your faith, it's kind of intimidating to put your faith in Christ, and someone you can't see, or not something that's super tangible. It's kind of nerve wracking to kind of let go of some things and give the control you once had to Christ, but it's important. And like a roller coaster, your faith has ups and downs. There'll be high points and low points, and there'll be good times and bad times. But at times you won't expect, it can flip you upside down and be either really good or really bad. Hopefully, it's really good. For education, I view education as kind of like a toolbox or a tackle box, because it gives you many of the tools you need to succeed, but you still need to learn how to apply them. Um, a tackle box will give you all the tools you need to catch a fish, but it won't catch the fish for you, which is really important in education, because if you have all this knowledge and you're an expert in some area, but if you can't apply that knowledge to a career, or if you can't teach others about your passions and your intelligence, then it really goes for nothing. And who cares if you know everything about calculus, but if you can't teach it to other people or apply it to a job and get something out of it, then it really doesn't matter a whole lot. But like the toolbox, you got and education, you got to keep accumulating, you got to keep expanding on your knowledge and your tools, because the tools that you have are an outlet for you to be better in your career and your passions and stuff like that. And for the overall life metaphor, I look at it kind of whitewater rafting, because you need to accumulate skills and tools and partnerships to help you along the way to navigate the white waters. Um, and you might have everything you think you need, but if you neglect something or you forget something, then you're going to be at the wrath of the water and the water of life, and it won't go as you had hoped or as you'd expected. So I think in life you definitely need to accumulate a bunch of skills and knowledge and people that you can rely on and trust to help you, um, because life's pretty hard. There's a lot of ups and downs, and there's a lot of ins and outs, and there's things you don't expect to happen. And I think if you just go through life by yourself and expect that you'll know how to figure everything out, then you're wrong. And you gotta use the things that you gotta gather information and use the things you've learned and the people that you've met to help you navigate through life. Um, And also, like whitewater rafting in life, you're never 100% in control. Um, you could be as prepared as you could ever be, but something might get in your way, and you might flip and go and fall into the water, and you might need some help, which is when the partnerships and the people come back to help you to help you out at the tough spot. But I think the whitewater rafting is a pretty good metaphor for life, and that is my project.